The deadly blasts in Sri Lanka on Sunday killed at least 290 people and left hundreds more injured. Monday has been a day of search and rescue, victim identification, and grief and condolences expressed worldwide. Earlier today, we caught you up on what happened, who the victims are and where the investigation stands. Here's what we've learned since then. There were 6 suicide bombers involved in the explosions. So far, 24 people have been arrested in connection to the attacks. The FBI and Interpol are among the global agencies who are stepping in to assist the investigation. The government may have had information about the attacks prior to the bombings. A Sri Lankan government minister claimed that US and Indian governments had warned of something terrible, but it's unclear if any action was taken. More victims' names and faces are emerging: a 5th grader from Washington, D.C., a British mother and her 2 children, an education publishing employee from Colorado, the 3 children of a Danish retail billionaire. Where things stand now, it's now past midnight in Sri Lanka, and people are off the streets under an emergency island-wide curfew. The investigation will continue on Tuesday, which has been declared a national day of mourning. British firefighter and his wife killed in bombings. A retired Manchester Fire and Rescue Service bureau commander and his wife were among the victims of the bombings in Sri Lanka, the UK Fire Service said Monday. Sadly, retired GMFRS bureau commander Billy Harrop and his wife Sally were both killed this weekend in the terrible bombing in Sri Lanka. RIP, the agency said on Twitter. The Manchester Evening News said Harrop had been celebrated for his heroism during the IRA bombing of Manchester in 1996. The newspaper said Harrop was 56 and believed he had recently retired to Australia. The Harrops bring the number of identified British victims to 5. The Met Police say there are 8 British victims total, 2 dual US-UK nationals and 6 British nationals. Trump tweets about call with Sri Lankan Prime Minister and deletes tweet about call with President. President Trump has deleted a tweet about speaking with the Sri Lankan President, and replaced it with a tweet about talking to the Sri Lankan Prime Minister. Spoke to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe of Sri Lanka this morning to inform him that the United States stands by him and his country in the fight against terrorism, Trump tweeted this afternoon. A White House readout also said he spoke to Wickremesinghe. Trump's earlier, now deleted tweet said he spoke to Sri Lanka's President Maithripala Sirisena. CNN has asked the White House for an explanation. US and India warn Sri Lanka of imminent attacks, official says. US and Indian intelligence agencies had warned the Sri Lankan government of imminent attacks, said Harsha De Silva, the Sri Lankan Minister of Economic Reforms and Public Distribution. Speaking to CNN's Christiana Monpour on Monday, De Silva said the Sri Lankan government did receive information from overseas that something terrible was to happen, but the Prime Minister was kept in the dark. De Silva, an ally of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, argued that it wasn't a failure of the intelligence apparatus but a failure of implementing an appropriate response. Wickremesinghe had said on Sunday that there may have been prior information about the attacks. He said he was not kept informed and it is one of the issues that must be looked into. For now the priority is to apprehend the attackers, he added.